Hello everyone, this is John Frausto with TopSpinTennis.com. In this video, I'm going to do an analysis on Jack Sock's forehand. I want to thank one of my subscribers, XXX KD XXX, for this recommendation. He wanted to see the analysis of Jack Sock's forehand, so this goes out to you. So with this analysis, it's really interesting. Picked up some things that are really unique to Jack Sock. It's not his Western grip. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and take the video back. There's other pros on the tour that use the Western grip. Am I a fan of it? I'm not a fan of the Western grip. Let's go ahead and look at the video here. So I'll zoom in. He's definitely on bevel 5 with the base knuckle on his index finger. So great for generating topspin. He's got some of the highest RPM ratios on the tour for his forehand. I'd say he's top 5 on the ATP tour. But very challenging to hit with that grip, and it's just not going to get the ball through the court like someone like Federer or Djokovic, who hits with, like, you know, they hit with an Eastern or semi-Western grip. Now, with that being said, I hit with the semi-Western grip, but, you know, if I'm receiving a ball up above my shoulders, it might make sense to adjust that knuckle, you know, maybe further under the grip to feel a little bit more comfortable on a ball like that. So I think a lot of times the pros, they use different grips for different hits. It's not always cookie cutter where you're always going to use the same grip on every hit. So just keep that in mind. So we looked at the grip. Let's go ahead and look at Jack Sock's unit turn. So as the incoming ball starts coming in, he starts tracking that ball. Here is one thing that is definitely very unique to Jack Sock. Notice how that non-hitting hand is already starting to come off the racket. If you've seen some of the other videos where the pros are keeping both hands on the neck of the racket as they take it back, as they perform that unit turn on the forehand side. Jack Sock doesn't. I mean, look at how noticeable that is, where that hand is completely to his side. Now, interesting. Let me give you a little background on each shot. The video on the left, he hit a serve, and now he's actually starting to back up and receive a forehand. And notice how his weight's going back. The video on the right, it's match play. He's getting pulled wide to the forehand side. So notice the difference with the hand positions. Look where this hand is kind of a little tighter to the body, and this one's completely to the side. Be interested in the comment section below. Why do you think that is? He definitely does not have the non-hitting hand on the racket, but why is it kind of in this video here completely to his side, and here it's kind of, you know, a little closer to the hitting hand? All right, so let's look at that unit turn. Now, here's the other thing. So as that racket head starts getting to the top, notice how the non-hitting hand comes back up to the throat of the racket. So I'm a big fan of efficiency. Why couldn't that hand just stay on that racket, on the neck of the racket, you know, through the entire stroke? Why does it have to stay down and then come back up? I just think it's more moving parts and makes things more complicated. It's something he's probably done since he was a junior and just hasn't changed it. So the other thing I want you to notice is he doesn't have like a huge loop. Notice how his hitting hand stays below his shoulders. So it's not a large cut at the ball where someone like Dominic Thiem that hand's above his shoulders. So now he's got the full unit turn. Let's go ahead and look at the trophy pose, right? So where he loads on that outside leg. There's his trophy pose. So there's where he's loading. Notice how he's loading on his outside leg, right? And a lot of times in this position, the pros would have the racket head up. Notice where his racket head is. It's below his shoulders, right? And notice how those strings are pointing to the back fence. So very interesting position here. One thing he does do well is his non-hitting arm is parallel to the ground, so he's got great balance here. He does have his chin over the that'd be his left shoulder, so good position there, nice and steady in this position, and he does use his legs fairly well. All right, let's look at the racket drop right there. So he doesn't really, it's interesting. From here, right, let's look at the, I'm watching the video here on the left. Notice how he does get the lag, right? So that racket starts going back. And then as he pulls forward, the racket will lag a little bit, right? But not a lot of racket drop. Pretty level swing here. There's a drop. Yeah, he gets some drop there. Take that back. It does drop there pretty good. But look at that elbow. I mean, it just looks like there's a lot of strain on that elbow. It does not look healthy, in my opinion. And just a lot of torque on the shoulder and the elbow and the wrist. All right, so now he's unwinding. He's going to the ball. Look at that position there where you can see, just here, I'll watch that window, how you can see his knuckles. Very interesting position here. Let's look at the contact point. So there, the videos are in line with the contact point. So notice how he is finding that ball. I mean, it's a little further back. It's off the front foot, but a little further back than some of the other positions where, like Federer, some of those guys would be finding the ball out here. And then also notice how the racket head is lagging behind the hand. So that's a good power position. He's got some good leverage on that ball. All right, let's go ahead and look at the extension. So it does extend fairly well out here, right? So he goes to the ball, and then notice how he's pulling up and across here on the ball. Another thing I want you to notice with this video is just notice how here you can see his back. So he's got a little bit more rotation on that shot as opposed to this one where his shoulders are square to the target. So that's, and then, you know, obviously too, the follow through where he's finishing more like a buggy whip on the finish here. And that happens a lot when you get pulled to the wide like he did in this video where he got pulled that way. You're going to get a little bit more of that finish over the head, and the contact point might be a little further back. And then here he had the traditional follow through where he's pulling it, you know, between his elbow and shoulder. So anyway, that's the jack sock forehand. I hope you enjoyed this. I'd be interested in your comments below. Pros and cons. I mean, if there's some things in this video you didn't like, I'd like to hear those, or like to, you know, have you put those down below. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you really like the video, please share it with your friends, coaches, parents, family. Don't forget to hit that notification bell below so you get my latest videos. Thanks so much for watching.